What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of The Corner Office, where Ruhan and I sit down with Philadelphia's leading entrepreneurs and executives.
Today we're sitting down with Adam Butt. Now Adam is a guy who knows how to hustle and grind. A few years ago he was working 3 jobs to make ends meet. Now he's the CEO of a $1 million company. Hear about Adam's story and the culture he's building at Noticed.
Adam, thank you so much for coming on an episode of The Corner Office. I actually can't believe I'm sitting down with a Liverpool fan right now. So to give the audience some context, I'm a huge Tottenham Hotspurs fan, and Adam's team, and where Adam's from, Liverpool, right?
Yep.
Your team beat my team in the UEFA Cup final, which is essentially the Super Bowl of soccer. But I think we both can agree that we're a little bit better than Ruhan, who's an Arsenal fan, right?
Yeah, we're doing well this season. I think we've got a really good chance of getting it.
Absolutely.
We'll see where it goes.
You guys are like 9 points above, right?
Yeah.
Awesome.
We're doing well.
No, but thank you so much for coming on. Ruhan and I have been following you on LinkedIn for quite a while now.
Yeah.
Something that we really appreciate about you is you're very vulnerable and unfiltered in your posts on LinkedIn.
Yep.
I think I saw a post, you were working 3 jobs, earning about $500 a week. Now you're the CEO of a $1 million business that's vastly growing. How do you turn your situation around?
Yeah, it's a big answer. It's a big question.
Yeah.
I think at the time, it's interesting when I look back at it. One thing I'm talking about today, it's funny it's happened today, this video, but one thing I'm talking today at the company is looking back in order to look forward. And one thing that I've always done is looking back at my mistakes to figure out what I could do forward that I can correct that mistake.
Okay.
And I think one of the things when I look back at that time, I think this is for some of the audience out there, but I wasn't ready at the time to really grow to the point where we are now. And I had to go through those learning mistakes, which is natural for anything, right? To get to the point where you figure it out.
Absolutely.
And I think for me at the time, I was working 3 jobs. I hit the point the year before where I was massively in debt. And I think I got to the point where I was like, okay, how can I correct this problem? I knew I had to work 2 jobs to pay off personal expenses, and I knew I had to keep all the profits in the business to keep investing back into the business to keep it growing.
Got it.
And I think most people approach it with quitting all the jobs and then eating into the net profit, and then they can't grow the business anymore, which is typically why most people drop out early.
Drop out, yeah.
For me, I think what was the turning point about why I continued is I didn't want to quit, and I think that was probably the biggest thing. I knew I could figure it out. The one thing that I had to do was to quickly realize that I was going to pay myself minimally for the first few years.
And invest back in the business, right?
Yeah, exactly. So pay myself nothing. I was living in an apartment at the time. I had a crappy car, and I was living minimally, and that was just the way it was. One of the big things I had to do was figure out how I could take on a lot of the work myself versus giving it to other people.
Delegating it out.
Yeah.
Got
At
it.
the time, we were too small.
So you were hustling and grinding.
Yeah.
Life of an entrepreneur.
For sure, yeah.
And you guys are vastly growing right now. It seems like you're hiring people at a high clip.
Yep.
What are some unique aspects of your culture that it's attracting and retaining some of the top talent that you guys are bringing in?
I think the first thing is that we're reinvesting back in the company. So even though we are growing, we're financially stable, we're profitable, most people would think about paying themselves out there. We're not. We're actually reinvesting back in the company to attract that talent. So like our benefits and perks are the big thing. We're about to announce a company excursion next year, which no one knows about this, but now they know, I guess.
Okay.
So that's another thing. But I think the biggest thing about me personally is ethics and values. It's really strong for me, from sales all the way to delivery. I care about the clients, and that's the most important thing for me. So I think when people are looking at a company, they look at what type of environment we have. Our office environment is very laid back, chilled out. And to be honest with you, we get great work because of that. A lot of our team members, the feedback we get, we do surveys pretty much every few months. They always say it's a very relaxed.
Surveys, really?
Yep.
Okay, that's unique.
Yeah, so we do that every 4 months.
Yeah.
And the feedback we always get is very laid back. The company cares, which is the most important thing.
Okay.
But I would say it comes down to the ethics and values for us, and I think that's what attracted people. We went through that process which most companies go through, hiring too fast and not bringing the right people. And we've had to now get that in order to bring on the right people.
And you're taking your people out to ice cream during the workday, right?
Yeah.
That was pretty cool. I learned when we learned that at the coffee shop when we sat down.
Yeah, literally
Yeah.
that was that's the random stuff I do. I'm a bit crazy, but I'll just like say to everyone, block out the calendar.
Got it.
And you have no clue what's going on. And I'm like, we're going for ice cream and
Got it.
stuff like that we do. And I don't
awesome.
think this should be a routine to any business. I think people, especially the new millennials coming up now, they've got different expectations.
Got it.
They want to be part of something that is not as strict and contingent and in ways that they used to be operating in corporate companies. I think it's changing. I think it's got to be a bit more flexible, a bit more dynamic.
Absolutely.
And I think that's what people like. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Now, when we sat down, we were talking about a few of the CEOs that we've had on our show recently have had their businesses acquired.
Yeah.
I think you have a unique perspective when it comes to an exit of a business. Could you just share that with the audience?
Yeah, for sure. So we've been approached a few times, and I think one of my thoughts on it is that most companies sell, and it's typically because either they can't figure out how to get to the next step,
Yeah.
or the owners have lost a passion for the business, and that can be told pretty early, or they got into the business from the get-go to exit, and that's okay if that's your MA, totally fine. I think for me, if you can grow a business sustainably and build the right team, and you consistently care, and consistently learning, I think that's what drives to continue the business.
Got it.
So I think for me, we have no plans to sell.
Okay.
If it did happen, then it happened. But I think for me, that's my perspective on
You're
it.
passionate about it. Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. I
You're
love,
invested.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love the clients we deal with. It's a constant puzzle figuring out how we're going to help our clients be successful.
Got it.
And that's the fun part for me. So it's still fun.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Now for my favorite part of the show, our guest always provides and proposes a question for our audience to answer in the comment section. What is your question of the day?
For sure. I'm curious to know what are the biggest opportunities a lot of new up-and-coming entrepreneurs see out there. Obviously there's a lot of new things happening in the world. There's climate change issues, there's social economic issues. I'm curious to know if anyone's got any opportunities they see out there and what their perspective is on it, because we're definitely changing as a business and we're seeing some of those opportunities. So I'm curious to see if anyone sees any opportunities out there.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome question. Well, listen, thank you so much for
Thanks
coming
a
on the
lot.
show. And where can our audience connect with you online?
LinkedIn is probably where they're most active. I don't use Instagram or Facebook anymore.
Okay. He's
Disconnected.
very active on LinkedIn. His posts are awesome, so definitely follow him on LinkedIn.
LinkedIn, Adam Butt, and our company's called Noticed, NOTICED.com. And check us out and look forward to seeing you.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. Thanks a lot, guys, for tuning in to another episode of the Corner Office. Look out for these episodes weekly. Thanks for watching, guys.